Into match day number 4, we go now over in the Europa League with Spurs, Anderlecht and Lazio currently running away with it at the top of the league. But who will be there after match number 4? We'll get into that and more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about match day number 4, that's right, over in the Europa League. And we'll get to it in a second. If you're new where you've been, smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for Europa League is right here under one Ruski, as Lazio currently look pretty much destined for the first round knockout over in the Europa League. We'll get to all of that in a minute. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs, you know who you are. And of course, big shout out to the members, that's right, and the patrons, you know who you are. Of course, back in the channel behind the bloody scenes. If you're interested in becoming a member or a patron, check out the links down below. They're all there. But of course, we're going to recap the results last time around and then, of course, kick on forward to match number 4, of course. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty then, folks, let's turn the clock back to match day number 3 and bring it bang up to date with my picks and, of course, a quick look at the results there, shall we? Of course, looking at that, Bodø Glimt with a big 2-1 away win against Braga to cause a bit of an upset there. Big win for Bodø Glimt. Meanwhile, Galatasaray with a 7-goal thriller over Elfsborg. I went with a 3-0 win myself. Roma did beat Kiev 1-0 in the end. I went with a 2-0 win. Frankie with a big 1-0 win over RFS. I got a 3-0 winners on that one. Sociedad 2-1 winners over Cafe. Got that one spot on the nose. Ferencváros with a cheeky 1-0 win over Nice, which was very, very nice. PAOK and Pilsen could only draw 2-2 with Midtjylland beating Saint-Gilloise 1-0 winners in that match in the Denmark. Ajax with the 3-0 winners of Qarabağ. 2-1 winners was my pick. 3-0 win it was. Rangers 4-0 win over Steaua Bucharest. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Meanwhile, Porto put 2 past Hoffenheim with a big W as well. Spurs with a 1-0 win over AZ. Alkmaar 2-0 winners in my eyes. Fenerbahce and United did duke it out to a 1-1 draw, just as I predicted. Meanwhile, Beşiktaş with a 1-0 winners over Lyon, which caused a massive dent in their dreams for, of course, dominance in the league. Malmö did lose to Olympiakos. That was a big win for them on the road. Twente also losing to Lazio went the other way for me on that. Bilbao, though, picking up a 1-0 win over Slavia Praha. I went with a 2-0 win. And Anderlecht picking up a 2-0 win over Ludogorets Razgrad. Now, those were the picks. Those were my results. Now, this is the table. As you see it, it's Qarabağ, Dynamo Kiev, and Maccabi Tel Aviv. They are not relegated, but they're down. They're in trouble, and they need a big fat W and fast. Meanwhile, same can be said for Twente. They're down there with just one defeat and a couple of draws. Beşiktaş also, quite surprisingly, down low in this one. So these guys currently are heading out, but of course, there's still loads of games left to still turn it around, but currently, these guys are got a lot of work to do. Meanwhile, from 9th to 24th, these are in this sort of limbo land where you're either not in or out. You're in a bit of a playoff hoodoo. So United are clinging on. 3 draws out of 3 for them. New manager looks like he's incoming and may even be hired. Well, should be hired, shouldn't he, by the time this game comes around, of course. I am recording this early, very, very early, even before League Cup and Premier League games coming at you because I've got a very busy schedule up ahead of you. So the form and all that will be all over the place by the time the game comes around. Porto, though, also in a bit of shitter. Rangers and Lyon got all work to do. But these guys are currently running away with it and maybe some surprises up there, with Anderlecht dominating, and of course Midtjylland and Bilbao in the top 8. But that could all very, very change very, very soon. We may or may not have a prediction here. I don't know what we're doing with this. So if we are, go to that link, check it out. If we're not, just ignore this and we'll go again. Speaking of going again, we are going to go again with these bad boys, and we've got some absolute crackers this coming match day, and I'm excited to look at each and every one of them. We're going to start at the top of the graphic with a trip to Turkey, and of course we're going to end it with a trip to wherever this place is, RFS. So we're going to get into it. So without further ado, sit tight, hold on, and here we go. Alrighty then, we're off to Turkey first, as Beşiktaş will take on Malmö, coming at you at the Tüpraş Stadium. Beşiktaş under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, 27th in this table currently. As I'm trying to, are we going to go here? Are they going to find it for us? I may not have got the right venue, but we're going to go there right here, right now. Beşiktaş on 58% form for them right now, just one defeat in the last 4 up against Malmö under Henrik Rydström. Just one defeat in the last 6. They're on 67% form. Now, they played 5 times since 2005. 1 win for Beşiktaş, 4 wins for Malmö. There's been no draws between the two sides. The last time they played at this venue was back in December 2018. It was a 1-0 win for Malmö, who coming into it on the back of a 2-1 win over Gothenburg. Meanwhile, Beşiktaş lose to Galatasaray most recently. And we got no odds for this. We got no odds for any of the games, so we're going to have to go with our gut on each and every one of them, including this one. And I'm going to back the Turkish boys to get a big win here to turn it around. Of course, maybe correct that form book somewhat. So I'm going to go 2-0 winners. Beşiktaş taking all 3 points, which of course could push them into a better position in the table. Heading over to Germany now as Frankfurt take on Slavia Prague. That's right, coming out of the Deutsche Bank Park. Frankfurt under Dino Topmöller. Just one defeat in the last 6. They sit 6th. 7 points have a possible 9 up against Slavia Prague, who are in 16th with 4 points for themselves this season in this Europa League competition. Just one defeat in the last 6 for Slavia Prague, 75% form up against 67% form of Frankfurt, who did draw with Union Berlin most recently. Slavia Prague with a big 3-0 win over Duka Prague, of course, and they're coming into this over the back of that 1-0 loss to Bilbao. Frankie picking up a win over Rīgas most recently on this one. Difficult place for Slavia Prague. Frankfurt are going to be one of the boys at the end of this one. So keep an eye on them throughout this competition. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for the Germans. Big win for them. And of course, keeping themselves in that top 8 position, which of course is where you've got to be at the end of this league phase. Meanwhile, let's hop over to Greece now as Olympiakos will take on Rangers at the Karaiakas Stadium. Olympiakos under Jose Luis Mendelbar, just one defeat in the last 6. They're on 67% form for them right now. 6 points have a possible 9, is it? 12th in the table, of course. They have played Rangers once in 2023 as a friendly. We're not going to look into that too much. But Rangers under Philippe Clement, winning 4 of the last 6. They sit 11th with 6 points to the name. They did, last match, of course, Olympiakos did lose to Tripolis in the Superliga over in Greece. Rangers picked up a big 2-1 win over St. Mirren, of course, with a very, very busy, packed schedule up ahead. In fact, I don't even know. They might even play 3 games. I can't play. That's not possible. It's not bloody possible. They've got a busy old schedule to Rangers right here, right now. This will be tough for them to get a result here. I think the Greeks will be strong. Of course, a very intimidating place to go for anybody. So I'm going to back the Greeks 3-1 winners. Olympiakos taking the 3 points. And again, that will kick them up the table, maybe even into the top 8, depending on what goes on elsewhere. Head over to Union Saint-Gilloise now at the King Boadoun Stadium in Belgium as they take on Roma, who are going through a bit of an identity crisis over in Serie A. Without a win, though, in the last 5, Saint-Gilloise, of course, Union Saint-Gilloise, 42% form for them right now. Up against Roma, just one win in the last 5 for themselves. They're on 42% form for them also, sitting in 19th compared to the Belgians' 29th. Saint-Gilloise last time around picked up a 1-0 loss to Midtjylland. Roma with a 1-0 win over Dynamo Kiev prior to in the last round of this competition. A must-win game here, I think, for Roma if they're realistically going to get themselves towards the top end of this group. It'll be a tricky one as well. I'm going to go with a draw, which doesn't do them any favours. It probably gives Union Saint-Gilloise something to get excited about, but ultimately, no one's going to benefit from this in this match day. Over to Bulgaria we go. It's Ludogorets Razgrad up against Athletic Bilbao. That's right, Razgrad all the way down into 33rd in the table with just the 1 point to the name. Up against Bilbao, who sit 8th with 7 points to the name. They've never played each other, these two sides. Ludogorets, though, losing once of the last 6. They're on 75% form for them right now. Up against Bilbao, losing once also with the last 6. They're on 67% form for them. Their last match at this competition was a 1-0 win for Bilbao over Slavia Prague. Ludogorets Razgrad losing to Anderlecht in Belgium most recently. But of course, at their own venue, there should be some form of competition in this game. But realistically, Bilbao should have too much quality. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Bilbao on the road, despite Ludogorets Razgrad recent form, which is pretty good. Over to Turkey we go. It's Galatasaray up against Tottenham Hotspur. That's right, coming at you on the 7th of November. Galatasaray under Okan Buric. 4 wins on the bats for them. They sit 5th with 7 points to the name. Up against second placed Tottenham Hotspur. 2 defeats in the last 6. They're on 67% form for them. Coming at you over in Turkey. Spurs losing to Palace most recently. I've got a busy schedule with City and Villa coming at you before this game. Wow. Galatasaray, of course, not much on their agenda. I think they're looking forward to this game with nothing else looking like they're on the docket at the moment. Of course, the Turkish, it's always tricky for any club around Europe to come to this venue to get a result. And I think this will be a similar sort of case here. I think Spurs will get something out of it. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, which of course does them no harm and probably keeps them in that top 8 heading into match day number 5 it will be then after this game. Next up, we go to Norway. That's right, as Bodø Glimt take on Qarabağ. That's right, coming out to Aspmyra Stadion over in Norway. Kjetil Knutsen's Bodø Glimt, they sit ninth with 7 points to them. Just one win, though, the last 4 games for them. Up against Qarabağ, it's 4 wins in the last 6, 67% form, but of course, they are rock bottom with 36 spots, 0 points thus far. Their last match in this competition was a 3-0 loss to Ajax. Bodø Glimt picking up a 2-1 win over Braga, of course. They've been causing some problems in Europe for the past 3 or 4 seasons now, have the Norwegians, and I do anticipate them to continue that in this match. I'm going to go with a 2-0 winners for Bodø Glimt at their own place against Qarabağ to maintain a decent start, so an unbeaten start even in the Europa League phase. Back over to Sweden we go now. When I say back, we're heading there for the first time, it looks like, as Elfsborg take on Braga at the Boras Arena. That's right, Elfsborg under Oscar Højmark's stewardship. 4 defeats on the spin for them right now, looking grim. They sit 22nd with 3 points to the name. Up against Braga and Carlos Carvalhal, 2 wins, actually 3 wins and 3 defeats over the last 6. They are in 26 with just 3 points to the name. The last time they played twice, 2 wins out of 2 for Elfsborg, including the last time they played at this venue, which was back in August 2009. They did the double over Braga back in the Europa League qualification phase, early doors that's there. Elfsborg losing to Galatasaray most recently, 7-goal thriller going in favour for the Turkish bad boys. Bodø Glimt beating Braga most recently in Braga to, of course, continue their fantastic start. Both sides need to win. They're in mid-table. Could be a draw, but I am leaning towards that draw. Oh, yes, I am. 1-1 in the end, which does themselves both a bit of harm if they want to move up towards those automatic top 8 spots. Heading over to Romania now as FCSB, aka Steaua Bucharest, will take on Midtjylland this coming match day at the Arena Națională. FCSB, the hosts, of course, just one defeat in the last 6, they're on 75% form for them right now. Against Midtjylland, who lost twice at the last 6, and they sit 7th with 7 points to the name. Last time around, the hosts did lose to Rangers, 4-0 loss there. It's actually been back-to-back games without a goal for Steaua Bucharest. Meanwhile, Midtjylland on the back of successive home wins, back-to-back clean sheets as well. However, the last match on the road was a 3-2 loss to Svenske in the top flight in Denmark. The odds for this one, we don't have any. FCSB were good at home in the last game and this competition at this venue, but their way form is pretty woeful. I'm going to go with a victory for them to bounce back and maybe get themselves back into contention to compete for the top 8. So 2-1 winners for Steaua Bucharest over the Danes on this match. Head over to Nice, which is very, very nice at the Allianz Riviera. That's right, Nice under Frank Hesse. Up against Twente, up against with Joseph Oosting in the dugouts. Never played each other, these two sides. A cracking venue it is. Nice, though, just 1 win in the last 6 games, which was, of course, a big 2-1 win over Monaco in Ligue 1. Twente on the back of a win themselves this past weekend, a 5-0 winners over Hercules Almelo in the, what do they call it? Eredivisie. They sit 28th with just 2 points compared to Nice's 32nd and 1 point thus far. Last time in this competition, Twente lost to Lazio. Nice lost to Fenerbahce, which was a bit of a surprise on this one. Tough one to call, but I'm going to back the Frenchies here. 2-1 winners at their own turf to give themselves a big old win and maybe even back into contention to qualify. Next up, we go to Old Trafford, that's right, and Manchester United, who will probably have a new manager at this point, taking on PAOK, coming at you out of Greece, managed by Razan Lucescu. Never played each other, these two sides, according to my eyes. They're not playing there. There it is. That's where they're playing. They're playing right there. Of course, Old Trafford, the venue. Of course, Man United currently, as of recording, just 1 win in the last 6 matches. 42% form for them right now. PAOK on the back of 50% form. 1-2 lost 2 and drawn 2 coming at you. The most recent match in this competition, PAOK did draw with Victoria Pinson. United have been on 3 successive draws, drawing Fenerbahce when they took on their old gaffer, Jose Mourinho, last time around. It's actually been back-to-back away games in this competition for Manchester United, also drawing with Porto in the competition thus far. I think they'll get a response here and a response over the next couple of games as well. So I think Man United should be on the right track, or at least heading towards the right track during this match. I'm going to go with their big 2-0 winners for them at Old Trafford to get themselves back in the thick of things and continue their unbeaten start in this Europa League. One of the highlights of this weekend's, or this week's action is Lazio against Porto, coming at you at the Stadio Olimpico. They played 5 times in 2003, nothing for Lazio, 3 for Porto. It's been 2 draws between the two sides. Lazio are top of the table with 9 points out of a possible 9 up against Porto, 4 points out of a possible 9. They sit 15th, but of course they're on 92% form for them, coming at you with an unbeaten run of at least 6 games. Lazio have just lost once out of the last 6. They're on 83% form for them. Of course, with that 1 defeat being The 1-0 loss to Lazio in Serie A. The last match they played at this venue between these two sides was a 2-2 draw back in February 2022 in the Europa League knockout stages in that competition. Porto's last match in this comp was that 2-0 win over Hoffenheim. Spicy one, this one. Could go either way. Going to go with a draw. That's right, sitting on the fence. 1-1 in the end, which ends Lazio's 100% start to the competition, but still puts them in the thick of things for the top 8. Let's go over to Amsterdam now as Ajax take on Maccabi Tel Aviv at the Johan Cruyff Arena. That's right. Ajax have played these Israelis twice since 2004, one with a piece. Of course, but Ajax coming into this on 92% form. They sit 4th with 7 points to the name. Franco Farioli, the governor right now, up against Maccabi Tel Aviv and Zarko Lazetic. 42% form for them. They are sitting in 34th, 0 points to the name. Kombinacha. Now, they did last play at this very venue. It was a 3-0 win back in October 2004. Ajax coming out on top in the doubleheader as well. Ajax on the back of, like I said, 4 successive wins, including their last match in this competition, which was a 3-0 win over Qarabağ. Tel Aviv, though, did lose to Sociedad last time around. I hope to get back to winning ways this time around. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to back the Dutchies here with a 3-1 win over on their own turf to continue their impressive start and maybe even push for the number 1 spot. Sticking in the Dutchlands, we're going to go to AZ Alkmaar as they take on Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce. That's right, Alkmaar coming at you with Martin Martins in the helm. They sit 24th with just 3 points to the name, winless in the last 6 matches. Fenerbahce, though, sitting in 14th, 5 points to the name, unbeaten in at least the last 6 games. And they've played 4 times, these two clubs, since 2007. 1 win apiece and 2 draws. 2 of those games were friendlies. However, the last competitive game they played at this venue was back in February 2007. It was a 2-2 draw. Spurs beating AZ Alkmaar last time around. 1-0 winners over in the Fancy Pants Stadium. Fenerbahce and United duking out a 1-1 draw in Turkey most recently. No odds right here, but we're going to go with a gut, and our gut says a 2-1 win for AZ Alkmaar against Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce. Meanwhile, we're going to go over the Volkspark Stadion over in Germany as Dynamo Kiev will be hosting their match up against Fenerbahce this coming match day. Of course, Alexander Shakovsky's Dynamo Kiev. They sit 35th right now, yet to get a point. Just 1 defeat though in the last 5 matches. Up against Fenerbahce, who are in 23rd with 3 points to their name thus far, unbeaten in the last 3. Now, they have played 3 times, with the most recent match when Dynamo Kiev were the hosts. It was a 1-0 win back in December 2020. Fenerbahce, though, did pick up a win over Nice last time around. Kiev could only they lost themselves against Roma in Italy most recently. So tricky one, this one, over in a neutral venue, of course, due to the crisis over in Ukraine. So it could be tricky, but I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to give it to Kiev, 1-0 winners, get them back on track, maybe, and maybe even leapfrog Fenerbahce in the process. Head over to Czechia now as Victoria Pinson will take on Marboys. That's Real Sociedad. Coming out of the Dusan Arena. Pinson looking good right now, sitting in 20th with 3 points to the name. Unbeaten in the last 6 matches. 75% form for them. Coming at you. Sociedad in 17th with 4 points to the name. A little bit better off than their Czech opponents. Just 1 defeat though in the last 4. They're on a 58% form at the moment. Most recently, though, Sociedad picking up a 2-1 win over Maccabi Tel Aviv. Pinson picking up a draw against PAOK, of course. Does that mean 3 draws in a row for Pinson? It looks like it. Of course, no odds right here, right now. Tricky one to call, but I'm going to back my boys Sociedad to get something. And I think I'm even going to squeeze all 3 points out of them. 2-1 winners for Sociedad against Pinson this coming match day. Over to Germany we go as Hoffenheim take on Lyon at the Preso Arena. It was all looking so rosy for Lyon, but of course they suffered a defeat last time around, and now it's made back-to-back games without a win. They sit 10th with 6 points to the name, up against Hoffenheim, who are in 18th with 4 points to the name. They're on 50% form, 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. They played twice since 2018. No wins. Both of those games were draws, and both of those games were in the Champions League back in October and November 2018. Last time they played at this venue, 6-goal thriller, 3-3 it was in the end. Hoffenheim losing to Porto last time around at this competition. Lyon losing to Beşiktaş as both sides look to get back to scoring ways. It's actually been back-to-back games without a goal for Heidenheim. No odds for this one. Tricky one, though, to call. Could go either way, but I'm backing the Frenchies here. 2-0 winners, bouncing back, and, of course, maybe even pushing for a top 8 spot once again. All right, then, folks, we'll end it all up over to Latvia. That's Rīgas Futbola, whatever that is, up against Anderlecht, coming out to the Daugavas Stadium in Latvia. Rīgas on 58% form, just 1 point in the last, the possibilities, 1 point of a possible 9 so far. They're 31st in the table. They have 58% form, up against Anderlecht, who are in third with 9 points of a possible 9. But of course, coming into this on just 1 win in the last 3 matches. And the last match was a 2-0 win over Ludogorets Razgrad. Rīgas losing to Frankie, of course. Now, these two sides have never played each other coming into this game, so this will be the first meeting between the two sides. So far, so good for Anderlecht. Tricky, long place to go, difficult place to go as well is at Rīgas. It could be tricky, but I'm going to give it to them in the end with a 1-0 win to complete 4 wins out of 4 and a perfect start so far for Anderlecht over in the Europa League phase. And like I said, that completes my picks. We may or may not be doing this. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. So let me know. Get your predictions down below just in case. And of course, we'll look forward to seeing that as well. But that, my friends, completes my picks. Subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. But we'll be back for match day number 5 very, very soon. But until then, we are done.